So, in this semi-final of the Community Cup, we have Milkdragon in dark blue against Andreas, or the name is Andreas G. Yeah, just Andreas in orange. I actually can't see them yet because I haven't clicked on the eye icon. Uber plus. Ooh, that spawn from Milkdragon. Not the most favourable in terms of geography, although it is going to be easy to defend. And the last place Andreas is going to check to scout early on in the game.
I think what Milkdragon has done, if you look at where he spawned now compared to where he spawned last time, actually that's a different island altogether, isn't it? He's not spawned anywhere near, he's on the other side of the world, in fact, where he was last time.
Both players have spawned on this sort of little narrow peninsula continent thing, whatchamacallit here.
Yeah, that thing.
Yes, the bit of not so lava on the not so square round planet. There we go, that's completely descriptive.
Right, okay, bot factory up here from Andreas, bot factory already up from Milkdragon.
With air second as well from Milkdragon, the Grenadier moving towards the wrong continent. However, even so, he is going to be able to see that Andreas hasn't spawned in any of those locations and is going to go and be able to claim that Mex a lot faster than Andreas is going to be able to. So that's going to be an interesting point of contention where Andreas spawned last time.
I'm actually struggling to estimate where the battles are going to take place on this one. I think it's probably going to be on the continent to the south, most likely. However, both players are going to want to expand onto the significantly more metal-rich, larger continent to the north. So we may see some contention of metal points there. But I think the main army slogging is going to be happening down here, but I may well be completely wrong on that. It could be completely different depending on which way Andreas decides to expand.
Typically, something I've noticed is that the army fights tend to follow the as the crow flies line, or the regression towards that. So you will have where Milkdragon's Grenadier is moving towards Andreas spawn now. I think that's where the main avenue attack is, especially with that Mex expansion that Andreas is probably going to try and claim. It's going to be the main battleground, as it were, although the Firefly is out already for Milkdragon, heading straight over to Andreas spawn. The radar is up as well, so he's going to be able to see that little blip coming in over there. So he's going to be able to see that that is where Andreas is coming from. And he's even moved a few of his units away, and his Grenadiers down to intercept. Very nicely played as well. Even dodged the shot from Milkdragon. Firefly moving around as well. That Firefly could be scouting and finding out where Andreas is not, however.
I'm surprised that is idle, actually, that Firefly. I don't believe that Milkdragon has fully scouted Andreas' base yet.
Indeed he hasn't.
He's not seen any of the buildings. He's seen a metal extractor, which is something, but it's not a huge indication.
There has been no enemy commander detected.
No, there has not.
But on the other hand, we do now have... He cancelled his massive vehicle factory queue from the northern side of his base and has repositioned it to the southern as a result of his intuition. Yes. He's even got Ants and Infernos coming out. Of course, they're not actually called Ants, they're called Bolos. Of course, we refuse to call them Bolos, do we not?
I'm on the fence about this one, actually.
Don't you dare! You cannot not choose a side.
I thought
Don't
they were
you
fantastic
dare!
when they were called unit cannons. I did think that was quite amusing. Because then unit cannon was in the game for a short while, but then Uber have since removed it from the game, snatched it from our clutches.
Yes, don't do this to me, Roncat. Don't break my heart in this way. Hell hath no fury like a marshal scorned.
No, that I can believe.
Right, in the meantime, we have a lot of Bumblebees already coming up from Milkdragon. Milkdragon. And he's probably going to target those at the combat fabs. Well, if he had scouted those up north. No, he's bringing them in. Combat fabs targeted. Missed him all. Wow, very good micro there from Andreas, seeing those coming in, knowing what on earth is up. But he's going to have to do it again because those Bumblebees, no, he didn't move them that time. In fact, but it was the bot factory that died there instead. So no more combat fabs. But
he can't be producing. There it goes.
There it goes. And a fab as well on the same pass. No air defense. I suspect we might.
Either.
No, the factories are idle.
Andreas, what are you doing? He's still in the game.
Although he's producing spinners from his northernmost vehicle factories now, which is good. Although in the meantime, you see the problem here. Andreas has not expanded. Milkdragon, as I sort of predicted, was expanding to that island to his sort of northwest. Which is where he knows is safe to expand for the time being. Although Andreas is kind of expanding to the north, but 4 mechs. It's nothing to be particularly proud of at this point.
We've got the fab train there as well, the expansion train.
The expansion train is a rumbling. Rolling.
But that's really put a stop to that grand plan that Andreas had for all those factories he was building. He's having to rebuild the bot factory now to get those combat fabricators back on stream. His economy is really not in a healthy place at the moment.
Indeed it's not. Now the other interesting thing is because Milkdragon did all of that bomber harass, that is sort of prompting Andreas to go heavy on the anti-air and sort of neglect the ground defense to a certain degree. I mean, he is beginning to bring out Infernos and Ants again, but in the meantime, however, Milkdragon converted masses to his ground production now. He's almost pretty much stopped his air production, to be honest.
I think all he really wanted those bombers for was a big initial raid like that, and that has really set Andreas back. Andreas was looking to be a slightly more dominant player from the offset, but Milkdragon just completely stopped that, and he's lost all momentum. He's had to go back and rebuild what he's lost. It
certainly served the purpose there, but the thing is now Andreas claiming the middle ground there, all the Ants and the Infernos pushing in on that choke point. That's going to be the really challenging part to actually break through, but of course he does have the ground between there, and that's going to cause Milkdragon a little bit of trouble to actually try and fight back.
Those bolos, I said bolos, not Ants, are on the front line.
Anyway, as something we see here just to the north of Andreas's base, you have those air units just sort of keeping a cheeky little scout there just to make sure that nothing's going on from Andreas. So Milkdragon has got a good idea of what is and more importantly what isn't going on. And also to the northwest, where I said he was going to build a base, Milkdragon, Andreas's previous spawn, has built a base. Getting up a couple of bot factories there, going to be producing some sort of backdoor grenadier harass, I suspect, probably coupled with a couple of scampers or docks. I'm not even sure if they're called that anymore. Are they still called docks? I haven't checked the name.
I don't actually know. No one uses them anymore, so I've not bothered.
Indeed, that's a little bit of a disadvantage. There is a Bumblebee still raiding. Bumblebee could take out a combat fabber. Yes, it did! Oh wow. There are a huge number of combat fabbers in the base now, however, as is reflected by the energy sort of fluctuating back and forth. We've got 2 combat fabs, third one being produced now, assisted by the commander in the middle of Andreas's base. Milkdragon pushing back a little bit in the middle ground with a good mix of Infernos and Ants still. Both players using a mix, although we do see a couple of spinners moving it out onto the front lines, interestingly. And something else that Milkdragon is doing, interestingly, is bringing out a few more bot factories beyond that choke point. So he's going to try and assert his authority beyond that to make it even more challenging for Andreas to try and break through. However, on the north side, Milkdragon now with his grenadier harass coming in now has just denied the expansion towards the top and is about to take out those 4 mechs. And unfortunately, I'm not sure Andreas can do very much about this because, of course, diverting his forces along those 2 lines isn't going to be favourable because, of course, that's going to give Milkdragon even more leeway on the main front lines.
Yeah, he's being pincered here. Those grenadiers should really be focusing on trying to get those additional metal extractors. Well, I'm not sure if he's aware exist yet. He doesn't. He's got spinners there. They're going to get popped quite happily. Once he gets the notification saying stuff is being killed over here, what are you doing? And then he's going to start sending forces over that way, and that'll allow Milkdragon to really take dominance in the middle ground.
Hey! Your units are dying! Pay attention!
That's exactly what it sounds like in my head.
Yeah, it's what's gonna sound like in the voice mod. Anyway, regardless of voice mods, etc., we have another bombing raid forming to the south. I wonder what that's going to target. Probably a combat fab or 2, but the Grenadiers now, 2 have been left really intelligently up with the mechs because you don't need any more than that to take out the mechs, while 5 are pushing down. They're going to take out this combat fabber as soon as they see it. As soon as they see that combat fabber, are they going to push into it? They haven't seen it yet. They're going to move past it.
Oh, no, Milkdragon.
Although, if I'm honest, that's not really going to be the be-all and end-all.
Energy.
The be-all and end-all is really going to be the...
Oh, that ant's going to get them. That ant's got radar on them.
Yeah.
That's well played. Oh, here we are, the front lines. That's where it's at right now.
That's where it really is.
The front lines. And there's a commander there as well. Lots of
If he could
Infernos
use
coming
that
from the back.
Uber cannon to great effect, that's all he needs to do. A couple of those
but
good
he's
placed
got-
Uber cannons.
If you observe, he's chosen the Spindly commander, so he's in a lot of trouble here.
Of course, like insta lose Spindle. Spindle Commander. That's a great name for it, actually. We should call it that, the Spindle Commander.
Yeah, those Infernos, I don't know where they're going, but they should really be just making a beeline for that commander. This is GG right here, and unless he can crack out plenty more of those Uber cannons.
There's the GG. As you called it, literally a couple of seconds afterwards, Commander now down to 60% health. Inferno's chasing him down. Milkdragon is one of our finalists, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be against either Mott or Call Me Graham, which we should have been spectating, wrong cat.
Oh, I've just lost the stream.
Ah, you what? We're not streaming?
No, we're back online. I think we're back online. Yes, we're good.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
the commander still hasn't popped, so strictly speaking the game isn't over. But if I'm honest, it's something I'd like to see is some sort of implementation of you call GG, that's it, the game is over.
Well, then if you accidentally rush over the G keys on your keyboard, then your game is...
Like you
finished.
accidentally click enter G, G, and then enter again.
Oh, there it goes.
There it is. Ugh. Really good play from Milkdragon there.
Fantastic play. I mean, I think that early bomber run really just completely screwed Andreas up. Not just in terms of physical disadvantage, but mentally, that really set him off.
Thanks for watching,
I'm just
folks.
gonna check, people can still see the stream.
More PA on the way.
It looks like it's all working on my end. I just had a brief lack of connection there.
And as always...
Yeah, Andreas is just conceding there in the chat. As the early harass just really set him off.
Have a nice day.